Cello, Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to my weekly oracle reading for the week of November 4th. Welcome to November. Happy fall. Want to just very quickly let you know that I've got some very exciting news. I am going to be releasing my very own oracle deck within the next month. It's called Feathers of Wisdom. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. It is at the publishers right now being printed, and very excited to be getting it back. As soon as I get it back and I get that proof, I'm going to be testing it out with you guys. So keep your eyes open for that. Okay, so let's call in our dream team, the Ascended Masters, the Archangels, our highest guides, light beings, elementals, creature teachers, loved ones in spirit. Come on into this space to give us the clarity and guidance that we need for our highest and best week this week. I have a new tarot deck. This is a Ciro Marchetti deck, and it's called the Grand Deluxe, I think, a Grand Deluxe Tarot. Anyway, I always like his imagery in his cards, and so I picked this one up. It was kind of on a sale, and I was like, ooh, this looks fun. So we're going to use this deck, and I haven't used it very much, so let's see what the Dream Team has to say about it. Ooh, okay, Temperance. Temperance is all about balance, tolerance, and acceptance of what is. And I'm feeling very much this week, it's important for us to really focus on acceptance of what is rather than expectance. I talk about this a lot, and this is what is coming through, is there's going to be a lot of heightened energy around expectation. Work always has different expectations that you have to meet and live up to, and deadlines and things like that. In relationships, we often have expectation of our partners, expectation of our friends, expectation of our family members. Let's not even go where we have crazy high expectation of ourselves for all you fellow perfectionists out there. And the message here is it's important to go with acceptance rather than expectance, because then you're not feeling so disappointed. You don't feel let down. You also don't create anxiety for yourself. And I'm feeling this week there's a lot of swirling energy around anxiety-driven things. We're getting ready to step into the holiday season, and oftentimes that stirs up people's emotions. And even though we're not quite there yet, we've got some time to get there, there's the anticipation of everything and the expectation of how it's going to go. So I feel like the message this week is challenge yourself to not go there, to accept that it is going to be what it's going to be, to not put a whole lot of mental energy or thought or planning into it, and to just allow it to be what it is. Now, obviously, if you're, getting ready to, cook a dinner, you do need to plan because you're going to have people coming over. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mental energy that we often waste days, weeks, months in advance of an event because we're anticipating. And sometimes we're anticipating great things, and sometimes we're anticipating not so great things. And all of that affects our energy levels in our present moment. So I'm feeling like acceptance is a real key to just accepting what is. You know that it's going to be what it's going to be. So don't put a whole lot of energy into it and just focus on being in the moment and enjoying your life now. I'm also hearing balance. Balance is going to be tricky for us this week. Balance in all things, actually. For whatever reason, I don't know what's going on with the planets right now, but I'm feeling like this week energy is stirring up it's almost like it's counterintuitive. It's like it's working against you. And I don't mean that in a dun-dun-dun way. It's just more like things aren't going to go quite the way you expect them to go. Things aren't going to be exactly what they seem. And it's not really about making sure that you get right to the heart of it with the balance, but it does feel like always being aware and moving towards that balance state. So oftentimes we live in the extremes, and it feels like that energy is going to be extreme energy. You're extremely excited and happy, or you're extremely down in the dumps. Work towards bringing yourself more to that medium space. Balance is important this week, but it's not about achieving balance. It's more the process of getting to balance. Being aware of the fact that you're out of balance is half the battle. So definitely feeling like that's going to be triggering a lot of us this week. Also in this card, there's a bit of an energy. She's got her arms spread wide. And, normally that's sort of in that, freedom state, like I'm shedding my emotions and I'm free. What I'm actually feeling here is she's feeling a little bit trapped, a little bit contained. And again, that ties in with the energy that I'm picking up on, that we may feel like we're not able to fully express ourselves, that there's a bit of sacrifice involved. Sort of she's sacrificing herself. She's throwing up her hands and saying, okay, it is what it is, and fine, I'm going to just sort of throw myself into the ring. I don't want to say, sacrifice yourself and throw yourself onto the pyre or onto the railroad tracks here, but I do want to say there's an element of surrender to this card when we're thinking about the acceptance piece. Surrender to what is, and the sacrifice can turn into freedom. It can turn into the yay, I'm throwing my hands up, and come what may, I'm ready. Let me go with the flow. Take me where you want me to go. I'm also hearing from a spiritual or energetic perspective, there's a lot of connection this week. Even though there's no balance really, and you're always having to sort of strive for the balance, I do feel like a big part of that is to help remind you to get connected to source. Reconnection to source. And we'll see what the oracle decks have to say about this, but I'm definitely feeling it's about connecting to your body again, getting grounded, breathing when things are out of balance, just breathing. You don't have to know the answer right away. You just have to know that you're wanting to head back in that direction, and that will make a difference. Okay. And when I was tuning in this morning, I got Queen of the Moon Oracle, Stacey DeMarco. And here's a card that's popping up. So I feel like moon energy is sort of playing a role in this week's reading. You can't make this shit up. Surrender, people, surrender. So waning crescent 3. So what we're looking at here, obviously, is talking about surrender. And I just brought that up when I was looking at temperance. So the feeling here is from the moon. Let's talk about moon energy. Let's talk about nighttime. Let's talk about how the energy changes from the daytime to the nighttime and how you can maximize on that. Things get a little quieter at night. There is the ability to sort of let go easier. You kind of let go of your day before you go to bed. You unwind. You kind of shut your brain off, or make the attempt to, at least. I know some days it doesn't work so well. But always in this space of letting go, freeing the mind. When the sun is out, we feel motivated. We feel like, everybody can see everything. And so I've got to get my stuff done. I've got to check off, the boxes, and everything is exposed. And at night, it's kind of like, okay, I can let my guard down. So the surrender piece for us this week is, it's not surrendering and giving up. It's surrendering to what is. I'm feeling the energy. So she's kind of got this, this beautiful cloud, and there's like a cliff. I feel like it's the energy of things to come this week. This is sort of I won't say a preparatory week, because I feel like there's a lot of energy already happening and stirring this week, but there's an element of we're preparing for something to come. And I'm going to just tap into the next week a little bit here. It feels like whatever comes this week, begins this week, is going to carry on through. I'm hearing Wednesday and Thursday are important days this week where you really need to step into that place of surrender, because there are going to be incidents that creep up, events that occur that are not going to be, it's not a one and done. It's going to carry on into the next week. So there's preparation going on with that, or it's going to last that long until it finds resolve. So surrender to what is. It's not going to be done in a second. Even though in some cases you might want it to be done. And in other cases you want it to last. It's kind of like, celebrating your birthday month instead of your birthday, that kind of energy. But there is some preparatory emotional stuff going on. So surrender to what is on an emotional level and just allow things to unfold organically. You don't feel like you have to take action steps and push things forward. This is more about, okay, here's this incident, here's this event that's right in front of me. Maybe it's icky, maybe it's pleasant, maybe it's nice. I don't really know where it's going. I don't know fully its purpose yet. So I'm just going to surrender to what is, and I'm going to observe. I'm going to go with the flow and see where it takes me. And I feel overall, and we'll see what happens with next week's reading, but I feel like overall it's bringing us to a happy, positive place. There is some release that's going to take place, and that release is going to be very important. Getting rid of stuff that's weighing you down. And that's what it feels like. It feels like weights, heavy weights. So when you're surrendering and going with the flow, and you are allowing this stuff to release, you become lighter, and it's not such an effort to surrender. And again, I mentioned the word sacrifice here. It's not about sacrificing yourself for another or sacrificing your needs, your wants, your goals, your desires. It's more sacrificing the need for it, the sacrificing the energy around having to make it happen, having to create it. It's more about sacrificing all of that so that you can surrender into what is and go with the flow. Very esoteric message today. All right, let's see what the feather jar has to say. Love it. Perfect feather, perfect message. Trust. So when we are in that place of sort of sacrificing ourselves, having to find acceptance and balance, surrendering to what is, that can be hard. Now, not all of you are control freaks like me. So I speak from my own perspective here, but then I will also talk around it. Control. We have the illusion that we can control different things in our lives, but really the only thing we can control is our own responses to situations. It's reaction versus response. And a big part of why we feel like we need to be in control is because we don't trust that the universe has our front, back, sides, bottom, and top. We don't trust that the people around us are going to come through in a way that we need them to. And this all comes back to that acceptance of what is versus the expectance. Getting to that place this week of trusting what is to come, trusting that even if it's I'm gonna swear again, even if it's a shit sandwich that you're being handed, trust that there's a reason why you're being handed it. And it's a matter of sort of working through it, accepting what is and going with the flow to get through to the other side. That's where you're gonna find the magic in it. That's where you're gonna find the big message, the big, the whole hog, the big enchilada. That's what you wanna go for. In order to really be able to get there without anxiety, without stress, undue stress on yourself, it's about letting go and trusting that the universe is bringing you exactly what you need to get you where you want to be. And sometimes it comes in weird ways. It doesn't make any sense at first until afterwards. Hindsight is always 20/20. So trust that the universe has got your front, back, sides, bottom, and top. Release expectation around people, places, and things in your life, and just meet life head on, right where you're at in that moment. Knowing that, okay, there must be a reason that this is happening, and so I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to resist it. I'm going to surrender to what is, and I'm going to go with the flow. And through that process, I'm going to find some sort of balance, and there's going to be meaning behind this at the end of the day. All right, guys, that's our message for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell if you like what you see here. Also, check out my Facebook page, The Black Feather Intuitive. Check out the website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. I've got a free reading, a daily reader called Touch a Feather on there. If you want to check it out, you can feel free to go every day and get a free reading from me. And it's my voice speaking to you. So love to share in all these ways to pass on this wonderful guidance that our dream team has to offer us so that we can get through this life and have some fun while we're doing it. Take care, guys. Have a great week. See you later.